Hi guys, welcome to another top 3 video. Today we're going to talk all about the top 3 Orc relics from the new Orc Codex. If you haven't already, hit that subscribe button and notifications bell in the corner over there because you will not regret it. This kind of awesome content is coming out like every day or every other day on our channel. So to make sure you don't miss it, hit the notifications bell especially so you know when these videos are coming out. Right, top 3 Orc relics. This book, like I made a video yesterday as well, guys. It got released, and that was the top 3 Orc warlord traits. And I was going to start the video off in the same way by saying, I know this isn't the best book out there that's been released, but it is still very cool, and you can do some awesome things with it. And the relics are like a great way of, building your orcs to kind of do something specific. And I think if you combo these with the right characters, you're going to be pleasantly surprised, shall we say. So in at number 3, I have a relic called the Super Cyborg Body. Now, this is infantry only. What it does is it gives the bearer a 4+ invulnerable save, and you halve all damage that he takes. I think that's, it's incredible. Imagine that. Like, there aren't very many things in the game which can do something like that. I mean, Morven Val in Sisters is one of the only things that does something like that. And you've got to imagine, she's 265 points. And that's one of her main abilities, is that she's got a 4-up invulnerable and she halves the damage that she takes. But you're paying almost 300 points for her. You can put this on like an 80, 90 point war boss who's an absolute monster in combat with like a warlord trait like Brutal but Cunning, for example, where he can go in and he can, he's got competitive edge that Drakari have in combat basically. And every attack that doesn't get through to the inflict damage, he makes another attack for. If you take that kind of character who's already a monster, attack-wise and what he can do in combat, and then you put something survivable on him, like this Super Cyborg Body, and you give him a 4-up invulnerable and halving all damage, man, he's going to be an absolute pain for your opponent to shift, especially because most Orc characters have got 6 or 7 wounds now. It's going to be really tough to take him down. The reason why it's coming in at number 3, I know I'm bigging it up a lot and it's amazing. The reason why it comes in at number 3 is because it's limited to infantry only. You can't put it on like a beast boss on a Squigosaur and stuff like that. And I think anything that you can tool up on a beast boss on a Squigosaur is definitely, a little bit better than something that can only go on infantry. But it's amazing because it means that your opponent's going to have to allocate more damage into this character that essentially they don't want to have to do because it's just an Orc. They should be able to kill it easily. Well, not anymore. So that's why that comes in at number 3 for me. In at number 2, I have got the Res Mecha's Redder paint because I think that's amazing. So normally I do just do, generic Orc warlord traits and relics and stuff, and I pick it that way just to give people more of an idea. But I think the Evil Sons one is just too good not to include, because what it does is it gives +2-inch movement to the bearer, but also every enemy unit within engagement range of this character at the start of the fight phase cannot fight until after all units from your army have done so. So basically it's fight last, but on everybody in engagement range. Not just like, it's not like most things like Armor of Rust where you go in there and you pick an enemy unit in engagement range and they fight last. No, this guy goes in and every unit in engagement range is fighting last. So I think it's brilliant because Orcs are predominantly a combat army, or you've got things in there that are going to want to go into combat. But it's one of those armies where you actually want to send multiple units into combat in one go. You don't want to have to just send in one every turn. Now, this means you could send in like Squig Hogs or Beast Snagger Boys on one side of the board into combat, and you could put this character into combat on the other side of the board, and you can safely fight with the other units first, knowing that this guy can't be interrupted on because he's put fight last on every unit that he's charged. So I think it's definitely worth it, and especially if you're going to take it on like either a vehicle character or like a cavalry character, because they've got a 10 to 14-inch move standard anyway, then they get +1 for being Evil Sons anyway, so they got like 11 to 15, +2 if they're speed freaks, that could be 12 to 16 inches. Then you get this +2 move from this relic, so that character's now moving between 14 and 18 inches, just standard with a normal move, and then they're charging after that and making everybody fight last. I think it's just Absolutely incredible. So take a look at Evil Sons, guys. Maybe just a small Evil Sons detachment in your army, because putting that relic on a character, I'm telling you, you're not going to regret that. But in at number 1, and I think it's brilliant because it's like, it affects beast snaggers, so it makes me very happy. I'm a massive Orc fan. They're my favorite faction, and for that reason, this has got to come in at number 1. That is the Beast Hide Mantle. So you put it on a beast snagger character. Namely, it's probably going to be a beast boss on a Squigosaur, and I'm going to tell you the reasons for that. Why? So, first of all, you get +1 attack. Now, the beast boss on a Squigosaur, he's got a bucket ton of attacks as it is. You give him this +1 attack, even more. And then on top of that, the Squigosaur that he rides on gets another 3 attacks and flat 3 damage. So he's just pumping out a hell of a lot of, you know, damage in combat. And this just giving a +1 attack is a nice little bonus on top. But the main reason you're taking it is it gives him a 5+ Feel No Pain save. Now, Feel No Pain save is a save taken after your normal saves. So, for example, he would take his normal invulnerable armor save or invulnerable save. Then something would go through that's 3 damage. So he would take 3 wounds, but he gets to roll a d6 for each damage that's gone through, each point of damage that's gone through. And on a 5+, that damage is ignored. It's not inflicted, which I think is incredible. It gives you 33% of all damage that's gone through to not go through. And the reason why it's so good on a beast boss on Squigosaur is how tough the beast boss on a Squigosaur already is. So first of all, you've got to remember, he's toughness 7, but then he's got 9 wounds on top of that. So he cannot be targeted if he's within 3 inches of another unit, you know, like Lookout Sir. He makes use of the Lookout Sir rule, and he's just on that perfect threshold, toughness 7 with 9 wounds. Now, if you thought, okay, that's bad enough that he can't be targeted and he's toughness 7, 9 wounds when you finally get to him. Now, thing to remember, when you finally get to him, he also has a 5+ invulnerable save. And then because he's on a massive squig, he reduces all damage inflicted by 1. And then after that, this B-side mantle will give him a 5 Feel No Pain save. So imagine you're hitting him with Thunder Hammers. He's got a 5+ invulnerable save first, so a third of them won't even go through. Then he's reducing the damage of those weapons by 1, so they're becoming 2 damage instead of 3. So that's another 33% of the damage not going through. Then he's got a 5 Feel No Pain, so another 33% of the damage won't go through at that point. So he just becomes insanely hard to kill with this one relic. So that it has to come in at number 1 for me, because I think just adding a relic onto a character, he doesn't even have to have a Warlord trait or anything like that. I mean, you're probably going to put a Killy Warlord trait on him so he does maximum damage and maximum survivability. But just having one, being able to go, right, this is my free relic, I'm going to whack it on this character, and now they're just going to be insanely hard to kill because of innately built-in abilities, not even with the use of stratagems. It's definitely number 1 in my book. But like I say, guys, these are my best 3 Orc relics, in my opinion. If you guys have any that are doing really well for you and you think people will benefit from knowing about them, please leave them in the comments below for everybody to share. And I'll be back next week with even more videos. See you later, guys.